Let me mic you up.
Oh, nice.
I'm being professional now. As I fly across the...
She says.
I'm getting there.
Welcome to the four-crown showdown.
This looks great in here, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. Right, I've got to make sure you're in. We are there. That's all right, isn't it? Hiya, how you doing? Good to see you. Lovely, Mr. Frost. But I'm here with the main man, Alfie Sharman. It seems like a minute since we've spoke, a minute since we've been doing our conversations, and look at where DAZN has ended up. Talk to us about that journey. It's been mental.
It has. I mean, it feels like we were just talking off camera, and you know, it's kind of been a steady flow of these major fights, obviously with our partners at Seller, and there's another one we're obviously just come back off last week, the Wembley edition, which was unbelievable. I'm sure we'll talk about that, but I was just saying to my colleague over there, I think this looks the best for me. I mean,
really,
it's quite really beautiful colour in here, and it's quite convenient. Obviously, I'm glad the fight as well, but it's quite convenient because this was originally obviously due to be in June. Now in October, with this artwork, with the frost, it looks better in the colder months, I think.
Atmospheric.
So, yeah, it looks cool. It's good. It's great to be here, and it's great for us as a business, yeah.
DAZN, what, 5-6 years? The app. Let's dismiss the app. No one takes the app seriously. Now everyone is on the app.
Yeah.
Alfie, bit of cake in the face, bit of...
No, got to be
humble. He's going to be professional.
Yeah, well, look, we're not there yet. We're not there with where we want to be. We're doing fantastically well. We're acquiring lots and lots of new rights. Obviously, we just recently acquired Ligue 1 in France, which is massive for us. So we're exclusive home of all fixtures there, which is great for us. And yeah, the boxing business, as we just alluded to, strength to strength. You're hard pushed to find an event that isn't on DAZN now, and that makes my job slightly easier to deliver against. And my job is obviously to bring as many of our boxing fans and sports fans more broadly to our platform. And the more fights we have, certainly of this calibre, the better chance we have of doing that. So long way to go, but yeah, we are very happy. No cake just yet though.
But one thing I will say, it's not just the fights of this calibre that you're catering for. We've got GBM Sports, their fight this weekend as well. Huey Fury on there, just to name a few. You're still investing into, well, you can't really say small hall now because there's a massive vacuum for the UK to be taken over with boxing, so to speak.
GBM's a great example. They're obviously investing a hell of a lot of time, workforce, and money into the sport, which I always say is a great indication that you know the sport is here to stay and is scaling. This, of course, is extremely important for that, but so are those kind of domestic level shows, which we obviously work on with our many promotional partners. I said this in quite a few interviews recently, but we're working with 28 partners, 28 promoters globally now. Because we have a commitment that we want, fights every week, and to do that, you can't just work exclusively with one or two promoters. So, yeah, I mean, to your point there, obviously, we've just announced last week Boots Ennis and Bam Estrada on as part of your subscription. Sonny Edwards as part of your subscription. We've got Jack Cattrall against Regis Prograis in a couple of weeks. Harper Dixon this weekend, and then obviously the big one, Fury Usyk, at the end of the year, but many more shows to come before then. And coming back to my previous point, the more stuff we have to sell, the more relevant you are, and the more I suppose credibility you have to be talking to fans on a more regular basis. The more we have, the more we can say, look, don't forget, we've got this weekend, and that next weekend, and that the weekend after, and that is kind of what we're after. So yeah, it's a good time.
You've definitely pulled momentum, but what I will say, your sales tactics to the eye have been gentle, but I'm sure it's been aggressive behind the scenes, the marketing, the strategy to get people to come on board with DAZN. Alfie, that hunger that you've got, I'm not saying there is, but could you imagine if somebody else decides to come in with an app and then aggressively try and control the market just as DAZN have done? Have you got a strategy in place to bulletproof DAZN, to keep the subscribers there?
Yes.
I always play devil's advocate, you know me, but it's business.
The answer is yes, and the build on that answer is contracts. We obviously have long-term contracts with a lot of these promotional partners, which grants a certain level of exclusivity, in a lot of cases complete exclusivity, which future-proofs our business for long to come. And look, this may sound like rubbish, but I encourage more people to come to the market.
You like it?
Well, it's good for us, you know, it's good.
Amazing. Hello, Chris.
Are you right?
Yeah, how are you?
Hello, mate.
You right?
How are you? You good?
Good.
Yeah, we'll have to catch up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's all right. You've made a lovely debut already, so it's cool. We like that. It's natural.
Oh my God.
It's natural.
champ.
Look at him.
So
Look at
champ.
this. It's the
I followed
cruiserweight
him and he went
world
through, right?
champion.
I'm so sorry.
It's all
What he's
right.
got to do.
We like it. It's more
Still
natural.
Smith.
He
It's
looks
champ.
live.
It's a
Yeah,
champ.
he can
It's
do what he
live.
likes.
It's live, yeah.
But it isn't.
What was
But
your
yeah,
question? It was about competition.
Yeah, competition and having that sort of brick wall around you,
Yeah,
like
well,
making sure.
contracts.
Yeah.
In practical terms, contracts
All right.
give us the exclusivity for a long period of time. But what is exciting for me, and as I say, it may sound like rubbish, but it's sincere. The more people that try and get into the sport, number one, presents an opportunity for us to collaborate, which there's always something that someone has to bring to the table that we want to participate in, if it makes sense for us, of course. But also, it demonstrates that there's demand. It's almost like an implicit bit of market research for me. The fact that people are investing their money in a time when business is very tough demonstrates to me that there is that addressable market. It's very marketing speak, but for me that is a good sign. It just means that we need to maintain our position, up our game, if we ever get someone close on our tails. And you know, the consumer, rightfully so, I'm also a consumer, are very fickle, and if there's a better offer, a better price and better products, they will go for it. So it's all in our control to just maintain a standard.
We like that. Another thing that could, and I always think about possibilities because I'm always thinking ahead. What if, you know, we've got all of the Saudi Arabia investment from His Excellency within boxing, putting on all these exciting fights. What if he said to you, you know what, Alfie, you're great, but I want to own DAZN. I want to take that over. Here's an offer you cannot refuse. I want to have control of that. What would you do, Alfie?
What would I do? Well, I mean, look, I think the thing to say is that we, obviously, the Saudi Arabia investment from certainly Turkey and his team, His Excellency, is very much based around boxing at this moment in time, right? And we are a multi-sport platform, as I alluded to earlier on in the interview. You know, we have multiple sports. We are domestic. We're number one domestic broadcaster in Germany, Italy, Spain, now France with football, right, or soccer, as our friends call it. And you know, Japan, we have all right. So I suppose my response to that is I'm not sure that would be necessarily something that they would want to do. But we're very focused on being a global multi-sport platform. That certainly is my focus on the markets that I look after. And I think at this moment in time, all we're doing is positive, and it's just keeping that momentum.
Talking about positive, and we're looking about planning ahead. What have DAZN got up their sleeve? Because every time I speak to you, something significant happens. It's like you almost speak it into existence. You're a planner yourself. You're a businessman yourself. What else can we expect from DAZN? I know you start pulling in other sports as well. We're seeing that. But what else have you guys got up your sleeve for us before I talk about what we're here for, which is boxing?
Well, I think beyond obviously additional sports and additional rights, which we're always in the market for, we're really investing a hell of a lot of time and money into diversifying the viewing experience. You know, we have a philosophy and an ambition to become a destination for sport, and of course live is a massive part of that. So investing in rights to deliver live sport is crucial, and we do that. But it's more than that. So news and content, social stuff like your types of content coming on our platform and giving additional eyeballs to that and more
Waiting,
stuff.
guys. Get right in the comments that you want to see October Red on DAZN. Come on, let's make this happen.
That kind of thing, you know, and giving it more of a, you know, like the same way people make, oh, who's playing this weekend? I'll go to BBC Sport. Who's fighting this weekend? I'll go to DAZN. You know, and that takes time and effort, and you know, we obviously need to convince the consumer that there will be the correct information on point, and you know, there is, but it's just about that volume now. So diversifying the viewing experience. Last weekend we did lots of really exciting stuff with our friends at TalkSport and True Geordie, where we did alternative feeds on our platform.
I like that
so
a
if you
lot.
bought the pay-per-view on DAZN exclusively, these guys were behind the paywall, and you could watch their commentary and watch along with them with the pictures in screen. So that did extremely well for us. We've done it before in the States with Barstool Sports. We've explored it many times. That's something I personally am really excited about, because you need to create something different, you know, especially in an environment where everyone is super excited about this, but it's the live event, and that's what you get. It's what can we provide on top of that as an experience that people will go, okay, well, they got the fight, that's one massive tick, but this bonus features, bonus content, etc., is something that we can only get on DAZN. So we're looking at doing a lot of that, as well as obviously growing our rights portfolio.
I've got to ask you then your thoughts on the headline. I'm going to go straight to the headline and then speak. Yeah, and then speak to the headline about this one in a moment. But Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois. We had a full week of entertainment because it didn't just extend to the fighters fighting. There was all sorts of little bit of drama thrown in there. It was quite a spicy week. But being there, the fight itself, and obviously Dazn and the figures, the numbers, the viewing. How did that go for you guys?
Very good. I mean, to your point there, it's a fight week, right? I mean, it's a whole experience. It often is, but it really is with these guys. You know, the Riyadh season philosophy is entertainment from start to finish. So, you know, everything from the ground arrivals to the workouts, and of course there are live fights now on the Wednesday.
Midweek,
which is a massive, fantastic innovation. We see really great traffic for that, which obviously gets people really excited and whets appetite for the Saturday. Press conference is always good fun, and then weigh-ins at Friday. I mean, last week's weigh-in was spectacular at Trafalgar Square, and then the fight itself, you know, at just a small place like Wembley Stadium that's sold out. So it's very it's great for us. Hey, Caroline. It's great for us. It did very well, and I think you know, going straight into this event is quite an experience. We're used to it. We also had Canelo a couple of weeks ago as well, so it was kind of one into the other. Numbers were good. Obviously, I can't disclose pay-per-view numbers and subscribers, but it was strong. Saw very, very strong viewership, and yeah, I mean, the result was a surprise. If I'm being honest, I thought Daniel was outstanding. You're going to ask me about that fight?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to make sure I wasn't going to go into an analysis about
I need it. I need it. No, I want all you've got to give me today,
like
Alfie.
My family over the last week, they don't actually ask what I think about it, but I find myself telling them. You know.
Listen, we need that. We need to know what the head of DAZN thinks about it.
I'm a boxing fan, so you kind of, you know. But I was surprised. I thought AJ looked super focused all week. I'm sure he was still focused on the night, but not that Daniel didn't. But you know, I think I didn't sign up to the hypothesis that Daniel was not equipped to operate under that pressure, because, you know, yes, of course, AJ's been at Wembley 4 times, you know, in that stadium alone, performed in front of 500,000 people alone, so he was very familiar with that environment. But Daniel's, you know, fought in very, very tense environments. Poland against Usyk, of course, the various cellar shows in Riyadh. I've been to big crowds and big global audiences, so I didn't subscribe to that hypothesis, but I just thought that AJ would be too much. From his performances since Franklin and Alenius and obviously Otto Wallin and the emphatic knockout against Francis, I thought that he would be too much for Daniel, but his game plan was good, and it was just a bad day at the office, I think, for AJ. And I've seen a lot of his content post-fight, and I think he's been very, you know, very sensible about the whole thing. He's just had an off night, and it's great to see that he's feeling positive and that he's going to continue in the sport, because there's always with heavyweights, certainly as they approach mid-30s, which actually is still not that old for heavyweights. You know, people instantly just assume that they're going to retire, and it's good that he dispelled that straight away.
Yeah, he definitely did. So what do you think about this one? I'm Team Beterbiev all the way, because I am, sorry.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Because you're a fan? And
always been a fan, massive fan.
I've always been a fan of Dmitry Bivol, also Beterbiev, also, I mean, obviously outstanding fighter and just incredible record. And a dangerous, I mean, you can even see from the artwork, you know, see it in the background, probably actually in between our shot, you can see him staring down the camera. He's an intimidating guy, right?
He's lovely, yeah. Just the way I like him, Alfie, just the way I like him.
Yeah. But he's formidable, but they both are, which is why this is such an exciting fight. I wouldn't say who I'd like to see win. I'm very much a neutral in this regard, genuinely. As I say, I've been a fan of Dmitry Bivol's career for a very long time. He's fought DAZN many times. And Beterbiev is an extremely dangerous, talented fighter, so I can't wait for the 12th. I'll be out there, so it'll be great.
Alfie, it's been an absolute pleasure. Always a pleasure to speak to you. You know what? Alfie always makes time to come and say hello to me. Many don't. But Alfie always does. I appreciate that.
Well,
till the next time. I'll see you at the top table giving that speech that you do.
Well, let's see. Not today for me. Maybe.
I've got to have my mic back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. These things are expensive. I'm not trying to lean in and assault you or anything. Start the rumours. Yeah, until the next time. Thank you.
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.